Welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll be dealing with another 2/3 question. All right, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, so this time from this past camp lesson, there was a question on the comment board. All right, and this one is from Tribe of Gad Hebrew Israelite 8435. All right, the brother opens up with a greeting, Shalom. He says, I hope and pray Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you are the elect and your family, beloved, and getting my donations. All right, now a lot of people send little things here and there. They send, all kinds of stuff. So just be assured that if you and this is not something that's public. So if you asked, could you send something, right? Somebody, I reached out to you. If you reached out to me, I gave you the correct place to send whatever you wanted to send. So I'm sure, it was received. Okay. Anyway, that's not, like I said, it's not a public thing. We don't ask people for anything, but brothers and sisters, people have things they want to give you. Anyway, he says, one question I have is, will the 2/3 have a part of the Edomites and the other nations' captivity? Okay. So let me read that again. He says, will the 2/3 have part of the Edomites and the other nations' captivity, or after 1,000 years are up? My brother was deleted by an Edomite, the water big brother. All right. So just to tell you straight out, as far as we know, what we believe and what we teach is that the 2/3 will be reborn in the kingdom. And we do believe that they will have part in the slavery of the Edomites and the other nations. All right. Because after 1,000 years, Esau is going to be eliminated. But let's go to the scriptures and see what we can read. And first, I'm going to read for you. Let's see here, brothers. Just bear with me here. This is one of those things that's going to fall under we know in part, we prophesy in part. This does not mean we don't have 100% truth, but there are certain details that we don't know because it's not written. For example, it's not written in the scriptures that even you don't see it written plainly in the scriptures that the 2/3 are going to be reborn in the kingdom, although we can prove that. Right. But it doesn't tell us exactly when. It don't say in the first 100 years, in the second 100 years. It doesn't say it like that. So you have to understand what's written and what we know now, because the Most High is not going to change what he already put into effect. So let's read 1 Corinthians 13:9. It says, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. That covers for things like how the chariots look. Like we know that there are chariots, but we don't know how they look. We don't know what they're made out of, right? We know that new bodies are going to be given to the elect, but we don't know exactly how we're going to look. We don't know how tall we're going to be. So things like that fall under we know in part, we prophesy in part. All right, verse 12 says, for now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I am known. So we're going to know everything fully when we're in the kingdom. There's just certain things that we cannot know 100%. All right. We just can't know for sure. And this is one of those things. Now we speculate and we also extrapolate from what the scriptures give us and what we already know as far as how we exist now, how people come back every third, fourth generation and so on and so forth. But anyway, let's deal with Revelation 20:4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Right. This is the elect. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of the Most High, and which not had worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Okay, so this tells you, without a doubt, you should know that the mark of the beast is not sin, because it says that they neither had received his mark. You don't receive sin, you commit sin. It says, and they lived and reigned with the anointed 1,000 years. So this is the first, this is the elect of the Israelites, the 1/3 and the rest of the elect from around the world, the 1/3 from Babylon the Great and the rest of the elect from around the world. So verse 5 says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. Right. This is talking about the other nations, showing you that this ain't talking about no sinners and people that just died. It was sinners. No, because if that was the case, why did it say they would live again? according to you people's doctrine out there. So it says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. So this is speaking of the other nations, because after 1,000 years, they're going to be let out of captivity, and they too will be able to enjoy a righteous earth. Okay. Now verse 6 says, blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. On such the second death had no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Anointed, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So this right here is 144,000, and the rest of the elect from around the world. Okay. Now, and when people read Revelation 20, it jumps all over the place. It's not, you can't just read it straight like you would read it, because it jumps back to the dark ages. It goes backwards, forwards. So don't try to read it and think you're just reading it straight through like you would, a story, because that's not how it reads. Now in Exodus 20 and 5, we'll read the various scriptures here. This is how the Most High deals with bringing people back as far as reincarnation. Exodus 20 and 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Now, when you get ready to get into deep mysteries like these, this ain't for your regular Israelite. This ain't for your fringe t-shirt Israelites who just running around the earth with a gold grill in their mouth, trying to do hip hop music, mixing it with the truth, watching all different kinds of camps, because you can't receive no real deep mysteries because you're not even born again. You're really not. You just woke up to the truth, but you're not awake. You're not born again. So really, it's not to you. You're going to try to understand it, but you're going to vomit everything that we try to teach you because you watch too many different camps. You don't understand the basics, and you're going to buck up against everything that we say. You want the scriptures to say, then shall the 2/3 come back in the kingdom, when the Bible is written, in mysteries. And the mysteries are revealed unto the meek, which really the mysteries are revealed to the secrets of the Bible are given to the prophets, and they give them to the rest of the elect. All right. So it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. What does it mean? You come back every 3rd or 4th generation, even now. Numbers 14:18, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. And the iniquity of the fathers is visited upon the children. It's not visited upon, and the children represent those that are going to be reborn in reincarnation. Let me prove something to you real quick, if I can get this to this other window to open up. Lord willing, we can get it open up. We're going to read to you Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel 18. And it seems like these 2/3 questions are coming up a lot right here lately. Now, in all fairness, this brother asked this question days ago, before the recent controversy with the Sakari them. So this is probably a question that he had already, and I don't think it's related in any kind of way to what Sakari them been teaching. All right, to be in all fairness. All right. Anyway, he asked, will the 2/3 have a part of the Edomites and other nations' captivity, or after the 1,000 years are up? My brother was deleted by an Edomite. No, because after 1,000 years are up, the other nations will be let out of captivity. Okay, that's another answer. So this right here is proving that what we read in Exodus. This is Ezekiel 18 and 20. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. So as Israelites, we no longer have to pay for the sins of our forefathers, okay? Because in actuality, we are our fathers coming back every 3rd or 4th generation. That's why that's written. So in that, so in reality, when your real dad, your dad or your mother commits sins, you're not going to pay for those sins. They're going to come back and pay for their own sins, or they're going to, however their judgment plays out, they're going to pay for their own sins. It's just the way that it's written. Jake would get confused. A lot of people can't get the concept of you come back, you are your fathers. And and forgive me. Even Yahweh Shah spoke on that in was that Matthew 23? If we can go there real quick. Another proof of that. All the way down in Matthew 23. So this is Matthew 23 and verse 34. We'll start at 33. I'm sorry, we'll start at verse 29. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers." What does that mean? Yahweh Shah says, you say that if you were back in the old days, you wouldn't have had part in the death of the prophets. But he says that, you're the children of those which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. He was saying, do what you always have done. It goes on to prove. It says, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city. Why? That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. So wait a minute. Yahweh Shah said that upon you may come all the righteous blood. Now, would that not be unrighteous? According to what we read in Ezekiel, he says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. So how then can Yahweh Shah turn around and charge blood from Abel all the way up until another time on these people, on these wicked scribes and Pharisees, the wicked Israelites? How could he do that if they had nothing to do with it? It's showing you that reincarnation does exist. Otherwise, he would be charging them with blood that they had nothing to do with. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. So that's proof that these wicked Israelites came back time and again, persecuting the prophets, killing prophets, doing different things. Okay. Now let's go back and read Numbers 14 again. Numbers 14-18. The Lord Yahweh is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation. Right. He says not clearing the guilty. Why? Because they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it. They're going to come back. Nobody gets away. Deuteronomy 5:9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right. Fill you up then the measure of your fathers. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to make you open your brain and receive it, because if the Lord give you the mysteries, you can see it. If not, you're going to talk shit. Ezekiel 34:7, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation. And the same thing goes for Esau. If we go to Jeremiah 32, see, you Jakes, you kind of uneven, and I ain't talking to that brother. I'm just talking to some of the other Israelites. You believe that Esau can pay for the crimes of their forefathers, but why? Why does Esau pay for the crimes of their forefathers? Because they are them. Okay? Because they are their fathers coming back. This is Jeremiah 32:16. Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, I prayed unto the Lord, saying, Ah, Lord power, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompenses the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, the Lord of hosts is his name. You see? great in counsel and mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give every one according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So when we pronounce judgment and when we tell the Edomites they're going into slavery, which they are, they're going into slavery for deeds that they themselves did, even though it's written that it's their father's iniquity, but they are their own fathers in the reincarnation. If you read here Isaiah 14 all the way down to 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, not your immediate dad, but your forefathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Okay, so that, and we'll come back to this and read more on that. So we see a pattern with the Lord that people come back every third or fourth generation. So in the kingdom of heaven, after the 2/3 are eliminated, they're going to be reborn back in their natural cycle, as we know it to be so. So the elect is going to get beamed up. They're going to be in the kingdom. They're going to procreate, and they're going to have babies. And those babies, some of them, not everyone, because you got children right now that are born, right, that are going to be in the kingdom. Okay, children that are, they may be babies right now, or even you may have even women that are pregnant that may get saved while they're pregnant, beamed up into the chairs, and the children will be born. Those wouldn't be considered, they wouldn't be 2/3 babies. They'll be babies just born through their elect parents. So not every child born in the kingdom of heaven is going to be a 2/3. Plus you got little kids that's going to be saved, right? Little babies, all ages of people. But let's prove that the 2/3 do come back in the kingdom. This is Matthew 5:17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Hold up, what? You mean to tell me a man can break the commandments and teach people to break them, but he gonna still be in the kingdom of heaven? How? Wouldn't he be wicked? Don't he supposed to burn for all eternity? You know, according to these people's doctrine, the answer is that he's gonna come back. He's just gonna be on a lower level than your elect Israelite. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So that is ironclad proof that the 2/3 will come back in the kingdom. Let's give you another scripture. This is 2 Esdras 14:34. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death, what? After death shall the judgment come. Where's the place of judgment? As we read in the scriptures, the place of judgment is on the earth, under the sun, right? We all know that scripture. If you don't know it, maybe a brother will put it on the comment board. After death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, right? And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. There you go. All right. Let's see if I can I'll look up that scripture. And we go into that often. The place of judgment is on the earth. Okay. It's not some celestial realm, some other realm. Like you don't die, your spirit go to hell and burn for all eternity. Right? Because people love to say that you got one, there's only two places you can go. No, all go to one place, as the scriptures tell us. Under the sun. So after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. So this is just bear with me here. Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. This is the place of judgment under the sun. You die, You go before the Lord's throne. He pronounces judgment on you at the third and fourth generation. You come back and you play out that judgment. You see? Now, I want to show you, we'll start getting into, what a two, because we believe that the 2/3 will be reborn. We know they'll be reborn in the kingdom. But like I said, we know in part, we prophesy in part. The scriptures don't tell us exactly when, but according to the natural way that the Most High been doing things, we don't think he's going to change it. People come back every third or fourth generation. So during those generations, when the 2/3 come back, when they're reborn in the kingdom, Esau, Edom gonna still be in captivity, because the generation, it ain't gonna take 1,000 years for generations to come back. So this is Amos 9, especially at the rate the Israelites gonna be, procreating and having babies. Okay. So this is Amos chapter 9 and let's actually read here, verse 10. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Right. All the wicked Israelites, they're going to die. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. So the house of David, the tabernacle of David, that's the elect first and foremost, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, that's the land, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. Listen, and I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. Was only the elect in captivity? The answer is no. You had a bunch of slaves, man. All the slaves that came over here, you probably be hard pressed to find any of them that was of the elect, because they had no idea they was even Israelites. The ones that were born after them certain generations. So the Lord is promising mercy to his people. And it says right here, let's read up here again. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that the plowman, the man working in the field, shall overtake the reaper, the one that was in authority over the fields, the one whose produce or whatever that was that belonged to him, whoever it was that owned that plantation or whatever, he's the reaper. The plowman is his slave, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord power. So that's also showing you that the people live there now. They can be the people of the Lord. How? They're not doing all of that. They ain't ruling over all, have all nations in their land serving them. Right? And that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have the nations come and they're going to serve us. You see? As the scriptures say, we're going to rule over our oppressors. That's in Isaiah 14. We're going to rule over our oppressors, as it were. And first and foremost, that's the elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect. They're going to be the first ones in the kingdom of heaven, sure. But unto them will be born children, and they're going to also enjoy the captivity of Esau and the nations. All right. And what assures this is the new covenant. That's also part of it. Hebrews 8:7, it says, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Right? The new covenant is for all Israelites. It ain't just for the elect. Now on this side, sure, the 144,000 and the rest of the elect, right? They're gonna be the ones that go into the new covenant, but they're gonna bring back the rest of the Israelites, because salvation is for all Israel. All right. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. You see that? So this is who? The rest of the Israelites. Every Israelite that's born gonna have the law in their inward parts. First the elect, and then the rest of the Israelites reborn into the kingdom. It goes on, for I will be merciful unto their unrighteousness, right? And their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. That's the whole nation. Because look, when the elect is saved, they are already forgiven of their sins and their iniquities. Yes or no? You see it right there written plainly in black and white. Tell me you don't see that. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. The elect is already saved. They're already beamed up. Why do they need to be forgiven again? It's talking about all the rest of the Israelites. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. See that? And that he saith a new covenant. He hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. And you can also read about that in the Jeremiah 31 and 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand and bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God. They shall be my people, and they shall teach no more. Showing you we're not in the new covenant now. Then they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them. Sound familiar? Right? He that is what shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven, right? The least that's in the kingdom of heaven, that's the wicked Israelites that was teaching against the law, that broke the laws. See? From the least of them even unto the greatest of them, said the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. There it is, plain black and white. You can receive it. If not, the Most High didn't give it to you. All right, so this is let's read a little bit of this. Isaiah 14, speaking on the slavery. Isaiah 14, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Who's strangers? Like me and you, we're strangers. We were cast off into lands that were not ours. We were part of the diaspora, so we're those strangers. Jacob and Israel, they was already from the Holy Land, right? They were our relatives that was born back then, right? We're strangers. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaids. This is the other nations. The people are the Israelites. We're going to take those other nations and we're going to possess them. Because otherwise, if you think this is talking about Israelites, that means Israelites going to be possessing Israelites in the land for service and handmaids. It doesn't make sense. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's plainly in the Bible. You cannot say slavery is not there. And as a matter of fact, showing you yet more that this is all talking about Jacob, and this right here showing that we ruling over other nations, because we wasn't our own oppressors. Were we? Were we our own captives? The answer is no. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. There you go again. All our people serve hard bondage, not just the elect, right or wrong. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. Now back then it was Babylon, but in the future is Babylon the Great, and the oppressor is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The golden city is Babylon the Great, which is America. It says the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, the so-called white man Esau, and the scepter of the rulers. There you go. You see that? So that was their wicked empire that the Lord has broke. He broke their rulership and broke them down, and they threw. And there's more you can read. All right, so here finally we read Isaiah 61, and you could actually go to Isaiah chapter 60 as well. it talks about the slavery of the nations. But I want to read to you right here, Isaiah 61. It says, exaltation of the afflicted. And the elect wasn't the only ones afflicted. It's for the whole house of Israel. First, the elect, right on this side. Then in the kingdom, the rest of the Israelites. This is Isaiah 61 verse 1. It says, the spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Right? And that was all Israelites. Now to show you, because you'll have Edomites that say, well, when did Jesus ever talk about any of this slavery stuff? Well, if you go to Luke 4, Yahushua read a passage from Isaiah, and he mentioned that. Yahushua's public ministry. This is Luke 4:17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, which is Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found a place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Not just your regular poor person, but to Israelites. This is who the poor is. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. So who are these captives and this brokenhearted? If you go back to Isaiah 61, you find out. Let's read it again. Isaiah 61 verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. And in Luke 4 it said the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, the slaves, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. See right there, brother, it says all that mourn. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. That's a cut. You see right here, this is a semicolon. That wasn't complete. It was a continuation. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. You see that? It goes on, and they shall build the old waste. They shall raise up the former desolations. They shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And in those generations, you're going to have 2/3 be reborn through their parents, the elect. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Now these are the other nations. And the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. They're going to be slaves. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. So we're going to get everything. For your shame you shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land shall they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. And like we keep saying, right? First the elect. Let's keep reading. For I, the Lord, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Listen, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord, Yahushua, have blessed. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God, for he hath clothed me with garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh herself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with jewels. Now you're going to have a punk ass Israelite say, right, that ain't no kids going to be born in the kingdom. But let's see. Boys and girls. This is Zechariah chapter 8, and we'll start at verse 3. I'm gonna start at 1. The coming peace and prosperity of Zion. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Woo! Thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Lord of hosts. Right, it's going to start with the remnant, and then it's going to extend to the rest of the Israelites. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness. There it is. So, let's see. Maybe we'll read a few more verses. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, the camps which were in the day that the fountain of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. And that fountain right now going out is the fountain of truth, building the temple of the Lord, the elect. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men everyone against his neighbor. But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days, saith the Lord of hosts. See that? And I mean, let's read one more verse. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their due. And I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. You see? And it shall come to pass that as you were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. See? For thus saith the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you, when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith the Lord of hosts, and I repented not, so again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not. See that? And we also got to go one more thing. Deuteronomy 28. You got in the blessings that we're going to enjoy. Deuteronomy 28 and 1, because we're going to have the law in our inward part. So, of course, we're going to enjoy the blessings, right? And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt diligently hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. What is the fruit of your body? Your children. And the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. And you can just go on and on in blessings. So, Lord willing, and I probably read, a little more scriptures than I, had anticipated. But like we, said, Esau going to be destroyed after 1,000 years, right? The other nations going to be let out of captivity after 1,000 years. So yeah, we believe that the 2/3 will start to be reborn and have part in the captivity of the Edomites as well as the other nations. All right. Because they got it. Hey, you got Israelites that perished, that they got to get their revenge against Esau too. They're going to get their recompense. You see? So it's all in the pages of the book, but it doesn't say it clearly, like, how some people would want it plainly written, but you can see it, as we explained it. So that's it. Lord willing, this brother, get the video, he'll see it. All right. And that's it. So all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.